Imagine you caught a district court judge bringing their grandchild to the bar every single day. You witnessed that judge pounding back 10 shots and 2 malt beverages. And then you saw that judge get back in their vehicle with their grandkid and drive away hammered drunk.
And in this scene here, you can see Judge Sharon Holmes entering the Hunt Club.
This is a bar and she's got her grandson in tow. She puts back 10 shots of Tito's vodka. Watch the bottom right of your screen, you'll see her grandson's head poke out. Then she finishes off her shots with 2 Tallboy White Claws as she exits the bar with her grandson again in tow as they enter her vehicle.
While intoxicated, walking to the car and leaving.
This footage was captured by famed attorney Ron Durbin out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But the biggest story here isn't that the judge is going to the bar with her grandson and then driving home hammered drunk. The biggest story is what happened and what she did after he exposed her.
She sits in that same spot at the bar. I mean, watch. I had one day I ever doing 10 shots, 2 big White Claws, and then proceeding to get in her car and drive drunk.
Me, ma'am. She can stop talking to me. I don't need you to talk to me either. I'm over here talking. You can, ma'am. I'm not talking to you, Judge. I'm not talking to you. I don't need to talk to you, Judge.
No, you don't. Because you're going to have a problem with me when you get done.
Okay, Judge.
You're the bailiff! Oh my God, you're the bailiff! You're the one, she called an employee to bail you out? Great! Great, she called her bailiff to come bail her out? She called a public employee to bail her out? I didn't recognize you, to be quite honest with you.
That's nothing. If you catch a judge breaking the law, endangering other people, and then call them on it, there most definitely will be consequences.
Ron Durbin live-streamed his walk to the courthouse today, saying he fully expected to be arrested. At the door of the courthouse this morning, deputies grabbed him and, in making the arrest, took him to the ground. Durbin says it didn't have to go that way.
Because this was all set up so they could embarrass me and they could do it when I wasn't expecting it, when I showed up for a hearing at 9:45 today.
Durbin has bruises he said came out of the arrest.
All this from his free speech to expose one bad judge.
And online rants about judges and other attorneys. The Bar Association will have a hearing on his conduct in the coming months.
For simply exposing a judge who appears to allegedly have engaged in criminal behavior. Attorney Durbin has been threatened with contempt of court. He's been arrested. While catching the judge at the bar again, the same judge calls her bailiff off duty to come and interfere with Attorney Durbin's First Amendment right to free speech. And now the judge has filed complaints on him to the bar. It seems that Tulsa has a funny way of trying to thwart accountability. Ron runs a website called StopSharonHolmes.com, and on it you can find his sworn affidavit. I arrived at the area of 224 North Main, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Hunt Club, at approximately 1:30. I evaluated the area for a surveillance position for the best view of door. It was necessary to drive around and wait for vehicles to leave for an optimal spot. I documented the subject with her grandson at approximately 3:05 p.m. We overheard her say he was her grandson later in the bar. I entered the Hunt Club and ordered from the bartender. Holmes was at the bar, the same place she usually sits. Also, the white male seen with her previously, who is apparently very close with her, was sitting on her left, and a black male not seen before was on her right. He soon left after. A few other patrons came and left. None appeared to be of Holmes' crew. I moved to the booth and we talked and worked on our projects for the next approximately 90 minutes while we observed and obtained video of Holmes drinking a White Claw hard seltzer and 3 shots while I was inside. Blank documented another shot after I went outside to prepare for her leaving and getting into her car with her grandson to drive. Holmes' grandson was in the booth next to ours. He sometimes came over to pet Blank's dog. He also talked to Blank about his phone. I've heard the saying, it takes a village. I never heard of that saying in reference to the village being bar patrons, hanging with the judge's grandson while she gets hammered drunk. This is Ron Durbin's story.
Well, hey everybody, we came down to the Hunt Club today because we were doing a little final shots for a story we've been working on related to Judge Sharon Holmes, a judge of the district court in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And in this scene here, you can see Judge Sharon Holmes entering the Hunt Club, a bar,
with her grandson. Let's not confuse this as a one-time occurrence. She's been filmed at the same bar doing this on several occasions. Judge Holmes must have confused this with a daycare center.
and then after leaving with her grandson, while intoxicated, walking to the car, and leaving.
During the investigation and our wrap-up shots that we were capturing today, we stumbled upon drunk Judge Sharon Holmes once again sitting at the bar getting drunk with her grandson sitting a few feet behind. Based on her prior MO, we know that she then proceeds to get heavily intoxicated. She then usually walks her grandson out hand in hand, puts him into her black Nissan Altima or some other black car that it is, and proceeds to drive while intoxicated with a minor child in the vehicle. Last I checked, in the state of Oklahoma, that kind of conduct constitutes a felony, as well it should. I have phoned the Tulsa Police Department and advised them of her prior behavior and what's about to transpire. And what they told me that I could do was stop her if she engages in it, but until she gets in the car and tries to drive, they're of no use. So that's where we are.
Attorney Durbin sent this story to me personally because he's seeking you, the public's help, in making accountability a real thing in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In his pursuit for justice, he approached the Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department.
Officers, can I bother you for a second? My name's Ron Durbin. I'm an attorney here in town. I got kind of a reputation for going after judges and stuff. And
That was being humble and putting it mildly. He certainly does have a reputation. And that's for being an absolute force to be reckoned with in the courtroom. He's a vigorous advocate for his clients. And not just his clients, but the public at large, as he's currently seeking to run for mayor and moving for vast change within the judicial system.
anyway, so we have a Tulsa County judge who's a drunk. And I'll show you the videos here in just a second. But on a regular basis, she brings her grandchild to the Hunt Club. It gets totally faced. Then proceeds to get in her black vehicle that's parked out in front and then drives. I got it. I'll show you the video of her going in there regularly, walking the kid in, walking the kid out. We were going to expose all this tomorrow. And to do that, we were going to come shoot some B-roll footage with my camera crews in front of the Hunt Club. Well, she's there right now, getting drunk with her grandkid. Driving intoxicated with the child is a felony. So I'm letting you guys know and asking, what can we do about it?
What kind of vehicle is it?
It's a black, like Nissan. I mean, I'll post up. I mean, it's just right down there. I'm gonna wait. She's right now, she's already done 4 shots in the bar. I got somebody in the bar. She's already done 4 shots. She's got her grandkids sitting behind her. In about 30 minutes, she'll close up her tab. This is an everyday occurrence for this woman.
So I'm guessing grandkid, you're saying under
About 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surprised the Hunt Club would even let.
And they shouldn't. And they don't serve food a lot of times. And let me just show you, because I want you to, and you can just go to the website.
Unless they have, if they're considered.
I don't know, do you have a phone? You can go to stopsharonholmes.com, which is the website I just put up with the short bit of video. But this is her usually, this is her, I mean, it's hard to see on this one, better on desktop. But that's her walking in with her grandkid. This is not today, this is another day.
Yeah.
All right, she walks in with her grandkid, hand in hand, goes into the Hunt Club. All right, and then every day she sits in that same, it's easier this way, she sits in that same spot at the bar. I mean, watch. I have one day I ever doing 10 shots, 2 big White Claws, and then proceeding to get in her car and drive drunk.
And if you were to think that the police would see this video and immediately make an arrest, well, you'd be wrong. Instead, what the police did was tip Judge Holmes off. Because it's much harder to get caught on camera breaking the law if you know someone's watching. The ultimate definition of a tyrant and skirting accountability. But that's not going to stop Attorney Durbin or the people assisting him, the people who are committed to keeping true justice more than a foreign concept.
Oh, she's chilling, she ain't going anywhere.
I got her good.
Like doing lots of shots and stuff?
I got her with it in her hand and all that. The beer, the White Claw.
Yeah.
In the hand.
What, is there you get someone with a grandkid in there too?
Yeah, the grandkids, yeah, all that.
Oh my God.
Hello?
I got really everything.
In 2022, I was approached by Judge Sharon Holmes in the Tulsa County Courthouse after her bailiff was accosting several members of the press for doing nothing more than filming at the Tulsa County Courthouse.
This, to me, is the defining moment for Attorney Durbin. Lawyers have quite a few things they have to keep in mind, the primary of which is their reputation and good relationships with the judges, prosecutors, and other court personnel. You'd think the primary goal is to make sure they represent equal justice and defend their clients the best of their ability. Unfortunately, that's rarely the case, except for Attorney Durbin, who, at risk to his bar accreditation, professional reputation, and freedom, stepped in on behalf of press, who were being told that their civil rights and First Amendment protected activity didn't matter. And for him, this was too much to bear.
As a result of inquiring as to what rule prohibited that and having a conversation related to the First Amendment, Judge Sharon Holmes decided that she wanted to file a bar complaint against me. Why did she want to file a bar complaint against me? It's simple, because when she came out in the hall acting like the tyrant that she is, I didn't kowtow to her demands, and I spoke back to her.
Bailiffs play a pivotal role in the courtroom. They're supposed to protect the interests, safety, and security of the judges, the court staff, and all those in attendance in the gallery. However, Judge Sharon Holmes' bailiff plays more of a critical role. On several different occasions when Attorney Durbin shows up to film from the outside of the bar to show her engaging in this behavior, her bailiff shows up to act as a sort of personal security, to prohibit Durbin's free press and make sure that her transgressions are protected. Take a look at your screen. She's about to walk out of the bar again.
And finally, at the end of the conversation, I told her to, quite frankly, go back to the bar.
Is that really a rule? Do they have like a published rule for y'all that you can't go past the elevators? Is it published?
It's an invisible line.
It's actually a published rule that says there's a visible. Where's the visible line?
This is the invisible line.
As this court staffer tries to institute illegitimate, unconstitutional policy, a policy which can terminate your constitutional rights, once you step up to an invisible line which constitutes the fate of your civil rights. Immediately following this outrageous encounter, we're going to see Judge Sharon Holmes come into camera. And this will be the first time we see her on film without 10 drinks in her hand.
Ma'am, I'm not talking to you, am I? I'm not talking to you. Stop talking to me, ma'am. She can stop talking to me. I don't need you to talk to me either. I'm over here talking. You can, ma'am. I'm not talking to you, Judge. I'm not talking to you, Judge.
But you don't get to talk to my bailiff.
She came out and talking to me, Judge.
You don't get to talk to my
Judge.
bailiff.
I don't need.
Attorney Durbin, I don't know what you were thinking. You don't get to talk to her bailiff like that. Because if you do, you might hurt her feelings. And she might not show up to the bar to try and run interference while her boss, the judge, gets hammered drunk.
You're the bailiff! Oh my God, you're the bailiff! You're the one. She called an employee to bail you out? Great! Great! She called her bailiff to come bail her out? She called a public employee to bail her out? I didn't recognize you, to be quite honest with you.
I need to talk to you, Judge.
No, you don't. Because you're going to have a problem with me when you get done.
Okay, Judge. Okay, Judge.
Judge Sharon came.
I know who you are, Judge. I know who you are.
And it turns out the judge's threat wasn't idle, because since she's filed a bar complaint against him to take his attorney's license, he's been arrested and accosted by her bailiff out in front of the bar she drinks at. I think it's interesting that she says, "My name is Judge Sharon Holmes," and he says, "I know who you are." Judge, we all know who you are. We know you from his videos, now we know you from my videos, and we definitely know you from the bar. And not the bar association. I'm talking about the bar that serves you your daily dose of liquid tyrant.
I'm gonna file a judicial complaint. Didn't another judge come out of his courtroom and get in a little bit of trouble, Judge? I just thought another judge came out of their courtroom and started yelling at people and got in a little jump. Wasn't that Glasgow the other day that had that issue? Judge, I'm not talking to you either, Judge Drummond.
Now enters Judge Drummond. And instead of doing the right thing, he approaches Attorney Durbin in an attempt to cop-splain, or in this case, judge-splain.
So when we were coming out, they were conducting interviews. We're on TV. I'm recording right now.
We're on TV, I'm not doing this. Instead of Judge Drummond taking this opportunity to stand up for the folks in that courtroom and to protect the rights of citizens engaging in free press, to represent the state of Oklahoma and defend the rights of all those citizens, he notices a gaggle of cameras and decides that accountability should happen anywhere but right then in that moment. And notice your screen, because Judge Sharon Holmes just can't keep well enough away and leave well enough alone. Her ego and level of tyrant prohibit her from doing any such thing. So watch as you'll see her head poke from behind Judge Drummond. Because if anyone's going to violate a citizen's rights, she wants in.
I'm just telling you, please, whatever your dispute is, do it somewhere in the hallway. That's all I'm asking.
Well, we were walking out, and her judge comes over here, her bailiff comes over here quoting your rule, Judge. And I asked her what the rule was. So, Judge, I just asked her what rule she was quoting.
You said to come.
I asked her I said what rule is. I understand. I said if she has a problem, then she needs to go talk to somebody else, Judge. But you don't need to come out here yelling at me, Judge. You don't need to come out here yelling at me, Judge. I'm not in front of you, Judge. I'm not in front of you, Judge. Judge, yeah, that's fine. I'll file a judicial complaint, Judge. Say hello to all the media, Sharon. Say hello to all of them.
And please don't call me Sharon.
I can call you whatever. I'm not in front of you, Judge. I can call you whatever I want out here. We're in the public, Judge. Why don't you go drink some more at the bar, Judge? You do all that a lot. Go be a drunk, Judge.
What I didn't expect was for her to go back to this bar. This is the Hunt Club that we're standing in front of. And the Hunt Club is a bar that Judge Holmes frequents regularly. And in frequenting this bar regularly, she often comes in with her grandchild and then walks him out hand in hand and gets in a vehicle while intoxicated and drives. And it's our understanding that the Tulsa Police Department have let them know what's going on and that she's called in assistance today. But right down there is her black Nissan that she drives here every time. And unfortunately for Judge Holmes, I have her already doing and engaging in this behavior repetitively. So, ma'am, are you here to go in the Hunt Club? Do you have anything to say about Judge Holmes getting drunk in the Hunt Club? Do you have anything to say about Judge Holmes getting drunk in the Hunt Club? Nothing to say about her getting drunk in the Hunt Club at the bar and driving her grandkid? Nothing about that? Do you have nothing to say? Nothing to say about that? Is Judge Holmes going to try to leave out of the back? See, we got good stuff here. They're trying to hide this stuff. We've been over here more than 10 times with private investigators. And in every single one of those times that no, but hey, I'm glad you're pointing that out, but I got video where y'all weren't serving food, so you might want to, if you want to have I understand that, I appreciate that, but I've got her in there getting drunk when y'all weren't serving food, when Masa and that stuff. I've got tons of videos of private investigators. I understand that. I'm just letting you know that she gets drunk, y'all know this, and she goes out and drives. I've got her getting drunk on days y'all were not serving food. I've got it documented in text messages. Don't try to play a game. What you should do is you should tell the drunk Judge Holmes to get out of your bar.
Get off my bar.
I'm not on your. Hey, I don't have to leave here. This is public, sir. This is public. I don't have to. You don't have to get permission. You don't have to get permission. I can film anything. It's called the public, sir. It's called the public. It's called the public. It's called the public. You should have her stop driving her drunk ass self and her grandkid. She does it. I got it on video. You want to watch the video, sir? That's the Hunt Club, y'all. They're trying to cover it up. I got her on video. I'm glad you're bringing it now. The Able Commission's got the video, sir. Y'all have a good time.
Now there's a serious issue here. As the restaurant owner comes out, he has the ability to recognize that a sitting judge is being overly served and then leaving his restaurant intoxicated and driving home. But instead, the restaurant owner tries to cover it up. However, overserving the judge in the first place, especially knowingly, is a felony. In Oklahoma, overserving alcohol to intoxicated people is a crime that could result in felony charges. Law enforcement and prosecutors charge bartenders with this crime fairly frequently. Often charges will result when an intoxicated person leaves the bar and drives drunk, or is hit by cars. But what do you think the chances are that that bar is getting charged criminally for overserving a patron, when that patron is the prosecutor's boss, a sitting judge? I'll tell you the chances. As of today, while I film this video, the chances are 0.
She's leaving out the back. Leaving out the back. She left out the back, man. Y'all get this? Oh yeah, that was it. No, she's still there getting drunk. She's still there getting drunk. She's still there getting drunk. Absolutely.
Recording you now?
Yeah, I don't care. Hello!
Now in the evening, well past business hours for the court, enters Judge Holmes' bailiff, utilizing her public capacity in private time.
You're the who? You're the bailiff! Oh my God, you're the bailiff! You're the one. She called an employee to bail you out? Great! Great! She called her bailiff to come bail her out? She called a public employee to bail her out? I didn't recognize you, to be quite honest with you. But it adds it. It adds it. That's fantastic. Oh, great. That's great. You called the police. I've already called the police.
That's right, folks. In a scene that you could only find out of the Twilight Zone, the bailiff is now calling the police to make sure her boss, a sitting judge, is able to continue to get intoxicated and then drive home without interference from the very cameraman and attorney whose life she's made it her sole mission to destroy. This gives a whole new meaning to protect and serve. The police are there to protect the judge while the bar serves her more drinks.
I already called them. I already called them. She's called her bailiff, y'all. She's called her bailiff to bail her out of trouble. She's called another employee of the Tulsa County court system to bail her out. That is her bailiff, y'all. That is the bailiff. The one that was yelling at the media for recording. That's the bailiff, y'all. That is the freaking bailiff. This does not get any better than this. We'll see if 911 shows up. They won't show up for a woman who's repetitively driving a drunk child. We'll see if they'll show up for a judge calling.
When seconds matter most, the police are always a few minutes away. When a concerned citizen and practicing attorney calls the police to report an alleged crime in progress, there's no response. But when a judge calls the police to have them assist her in her getaway, well, they're there, right on time.
Y'all's body cams are on, right? Are your body cams on?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me conduct my...
That's fine. I'm going to stand back here. I just want to make sure your body cam was on. I spoke to this officer earlier to explain to him the situation. Oh, I did notice the big guy was standing in a defensive stance watching me. I noticed. That was his role there. And when he realized I'm not a threat, he walked off. Well, I want to go see if Sharon Holmes is still in that bar, so we'll let them talk. We'll let them talk while I come over here and see if she's still drunk in the bar and ask these guys. Guys, since y'all aren't talking to her, can I ask you some questions or talk to you guys? No? Guys, can I converse with y'all?
Not right now, or...
No? I mean, are you relaying to them what I explained to you earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll leave you alone. Thank you. StopSharonHolmes.com is the website. Well, they're talking. I mean, they told the guy that if I don't go in the building, not much they can do. Her, I don't know what she's saying. She's come up with 5 different stories. We yelled at her. StopSharonHolmes.com. Absolutely. StopSharonHolmes.com. StopSharonHolmes.com. StopSharonHolmes.com.
Attorney Durbin finds a bystander walking into the bar, so he asks him what he thinks about this judge.
Yes, sir. It's called StopSharonHolmes.com. She's a judge.
Why?
Well, so let me explain. She's right in here. Well, she might have left. Well, no, she's still there. So she's a judge. She's a Tulsa County District Court judge. And every day between 2 and 5, she comes here and does anywhere between 7 and 10 shots and drinks a couple of White Claws. And then a lot of times she takes her 8-year-old or however old her grandson is, and she goes and gets in that black car down there and she drives him home.
Oh,
and she's a judge of the district court.
So it's Sharon Holmes.
Sharon Holmes. StopSharonHolmes.com.
It's all one word?
All one word.
From Attorney Durbin's footage and reporting, it appears that the Tulsa police are doing whatever they can to try and cover up for Judge Holmes. This seems to be the rule. Citizens cannot commit crimes. But Judge Holmes and her posse, well, they can just do whatever they want.
She jaywalked the first time. That's why I didn't do that. She's jaywalking again. That's a crime. No? Officer, are you going to talk to me? No? No, I don't get talked to? No? No? Is an officer going to talk? Can I get a report number or something so we can follow up on this? Should I stick around? Am I being detained? Am I suspected of committing a crime? Nothing appears so.
That's right. The police are about to leave without talking to the only person who hasn't committed a felony or a misdemeanor. Maybe if Attorney Durbin was appointed a judgeship and he spent hours on end getting smashed at a bar, the police might talk to him. Until then, they're gone. But that isn't the end of this saga. This bailiff really likes to throw her weight around, not just in the courtroom, but outside of it. In response to her behavior, this is what she's had to say on social media. These are just some of the comments left by this bailiff. Let's see what she has to say. Belligerent and aggressive, LMAO. A little ol' me, how silly I am. Glad I looked cute today. LMAO, you lose. White privileged. Birds of a feather flock together. Does the judge make ruling based on that stance? LMAO, yep they do, and I see what flock you fly, pigeon. Yeah, I'll see you and your mama there. You are right, karma is a... and it's coming strong, especially when the actual truth comes out at this bar hearing. Let's see how much your beloved attorney can do once he losing his licenses. Once he losing his licenses. She's as good of a bailiff as she is a speller. Punctuation not her strong suit. However, you never know. Maybe she was drunk when she wrote it. That's enough of me, though. We sat down and we talked to Ron. Let's see what he had to say. Guys, that video was incredible. It's amazing. You're seeing it here. You've seen a shorter version of it on my friend Lackluster's channel. Absolutely incredible that in this day and age, this type of stuff can happen, especially from a sitting judge. And you can hear me drone on and on about it. I'd rather you hear it from the man's mouth himself. So ladies and gentlemen, Ron Durbin, attorney Ron Durbin, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. I wish it was under better circumstances and it wasn't about judges driving drunk with their grandkids, but glad to be on the channel.
So you started this, I mean, I guess kind of your origin story is you're in court and the court was somehow restricting the press's right to engage in free speech. Is that how this happened?
Look, this judge had nothing to do with the situation. I was in court on a whole other matter. I was representing a gentleman who had just won a position for the Tulsa City Council. His name is Grant Miller. And the person he beat was challenging his victory. And I was representing Mr. Miller in court. And other attorneys were doing an interview in that case. And I walked out to some reporters being accosted by a bailiff. And I had no idea what was going on. I just really enjoyed the First Amendment. And as I'm seeing reporters get attacked for recording in a court hallway, I started inquiring as to what's going on. That's when the judge's bailiff, Judge Sharon Holmes' bailiff, got irate and I guess went and got her judge irate and got her to come out into the hallway. So that's kind of how that started. I was just fighting for some reporters. I had nothing to do with it.
But that's who you are as a person. You know, you kind of stick up for the underdog. And normally, in this case, it can be dangerous as an attorney to take the stance that you've taken, because normally attorneys have to put one thing first, you know, their reputation, their professionalism, because speaking out against the court or against the prosecutors or against the judges can be adverse to their reputation. That never crossed your mind. You just jumped right into it.
Well, look, they're trying to disbar me for going after the government. Look, you've got all kinds of lawyers that were taking advantage of stuff when Oklahoma started cannabis. You've got all kinds of stuff that these lawyers have done. I've been bringing attention to the corruption in the system, and they don't really enjoy that. I'm fortunately in a position of I have the ability to not care what they think. I fortunately have put myself into an okay position in life, and my wife's a doctor, so it kind of helps out that I don't really care if they want to come after me. I'm going to expose the corruption. I'm going to fight for what's right, because at the end of the day, when I was growing up, I didn't have people fighting for me, and I really needed that. And I did finally have my grandparents fight for me, but for them, I wouldn't be here. And so I'm kind of like, if I can fight for people, I'm going to do it. If not me, then who?
Well, that's interesting to me. I mean, I'm sure if we did a records request of Judge Holmes' docket, I'm sure that she's provided over DUI cases.
Lots of them. I've checked this. She's presided over lots of them.
I mean, the woman goes and drinks every single day that we went to the bar. She showed up to get drunk. That's got, you know, what, we didn't go every day, but 100% of the time that we went, she was there. When is she not drunk is the question.
Well, I mean, that's a great question. And this really brings in to the forefront of when you're going to a bar every single day, or at least every time that you and your team have visited the bar, and you're not going in and blowing off some steam and having a drink. You're having 7 to 10 shots. You're drinking 2 tall boys of White Claw. You know, how does that boil over into her job? How does that boil over into her ability to referee law and the cases that are in front of her?
There was one time that one of the people was in there to the point where Judge Holmes was trying to give this person shots and drinks. And, you know, he's asking me, well, what do you want me to do? I could get her she'd stay longer if I drink with her. And she had a grandkid with her. And I'm like, for the love of all things, no, don't drink more with the woman. She's going to go, you know, get in a car and almost try to kill somebody. Like, that's the level of debauchery that goes on. And if you watch the video when I'm dealing with her at the courthouse, I tell her to go back to the bar. It's because I've seen her fall down drunk at that bar multiple times in the past. It's a common known thing that she's a drunk. It's the best kept, not a secret by anybody in the Oklahoma judicial sort of system. But the fact of the matter is nobody will do anything about it. And it's just time that we say enough is enough. And if they want to come after me for it, bring it on. I mean, it won't be the first time somebody's attacked me.
Well, no one was willing to do anything about it. Enters attorney Ron Durbin. Now, they're trying to take his freedom. They're trying to take his bar degree. It's interesting. It's almost like cannibalism in a warped sense that Judge Holmes would try and take his bar when she spends most of her time at one herself. But they're trying to take his livelihood because he's willing to be that one guy to stand up and fight for what is right, whether it's your right to cannabis, whether it's your right to a fair and equitable trial, whether it's your right to stand in front of a judge that is sober enough to understand what you're saying. Normally, when a defendant will take a plea deal, the judge will ask several questions. One of those questions will be, have you had anything to drink today? Or have you had taken any medications that might alter your ability to understand?
Make a decision and understand what proceedings that are going on today. It's a common question during a plea. And what we have to remember about this judge is and again, the Oklahoma Open Records Act was able to be utilized here. So I was able to get footage to show when she's going to the courthouse, when she's leaving the courthouse, because I was able to get security footage from the courthouse. What we were able to establish is that this woman is regularly leaving at about 2 o'clock. And that's when she's going and picking up her grandchild, who she has custody of, presumably because her daughter stabbed her. And if you've seen the video from Lackluster, it kind of alludes to what was the cover-up related to that was going on. And then getting into who was Marcus Harper and that police officer that kind of helped cover this up. There's a whole web of deceit that starts to come just from plucking at a couple of strings that is drunk Judge Holmes. And only through this kind of exposure are we going to get to the answer to it, because Tulsa Police Department, as you saw, I go show the guys the video, and I mean, they're watching felonies occur and don't care.
Well, it's interesting. When seconds matter, the police are always minutes away. You're the only one in this video that hadn't committed a crime, whether it be a felony or a misdemeanor. The cops want nothing to do with you. However, when a drunk judge calls, the cover-up needs to start. It needs to happen now. Now, folks, what you need to do is you have to go to Ron's channel. The link for his channel is going to be in the description of this video. Also, head to StopSharonHolmes.com. Again, watching across the bottom of your screen, you're seeing it streamed. That's StopSharonHolmes.com. Also, the link to that will be in the description of this video as well. You have someone like Ron Durbin here standing up for your rights, and he's putting it all on the line. And I'm not just talking about, his background, his profession. I'm talking about his freedom. I'm talking about his livelihood. He's one of the few out there, if not the only, right now calling out judges doing the wrong thing. I believe that the same judge that's going to determine your fate for drunk driving shouldn't be drunk driving herself or possibly drunk on the stand when she's making that determination. You have the ability to support this. Now, you can watch this video, you can hit the like button, maybe leave a comment and move on, or you can go to Ron's site and make sure that you support him, because this is what accountability looks like. And he's not just going after this here. He's running for mayor. He's calling out corruptness in every true tyrant form. He's doing sit-ins to stop officials from removing people from public places. This is the guy that you need. This is the guy that you want to watch. And please, I'm telling you one thing. If you have a case and you need assistance, give him a call. He's one of the best attorneys I've ever seen. Ron, thank you for joining us, and thank you for fighting.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I look forward to being back as we update this moving forward.
And there will be an update, folks, because next week we're going to give you even more information that you haven't heard yet, and you're probably going to find hard to believe and to stomach. Stay free, film judges, and be careful when you're pulling out of a bar, because the same drunk driver that hit you might just be arraigning you the next morning. And that's the reason I stopped you today.